Hi guys, I'm Ayushi, your mentor for law entrance exams, and welcome to Law Digest. Now this is the third video in our revision series of family law where we are going to discuss Hindu adoption and Hindu guardianship. Just in case you have missed the previous videos, you can go to the playlist section and check the revision series of family law. And also if you don't want to miss any further videos in future, do subscribe to this channel and hit the bell icon. Starting with the 21st question. 21st being the question number here, because in the previous two videos we've discussed 20 questions in total. Now let us through questions discuss about Hindu adoption and Hindu guardianship, the basics of the same. So the first question says, when is adoption considered as valid as per the Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act? So Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act is the one that deals with Hindu adoption, how an adoption takes place in Hindu law, and what about the maintenance. Now adoption is considered valid as per the Hindu law in what situations? The person adopting has the right and capacity to take in adoption. Then person giving in adoption has the capacity to give the child in adoption, and also the person adopted is capable of being taken in adoption. So all these conditions are mandatory for an adoption to take place under the Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act. Therefore answer is option D, that is all of the above. Moving on to the next question. When can a female adopt if she is married as per the Hindu Marriage and Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act? Now as per the Hindu Adoption Act, what generally happens is the father is capable of taking a child in adoption, and he can do so with the consent of the mother. He cannot do it individually, but he can do it with the consent of the mother. Now a female can adopt only in certain situations if she is married. If she is unmarried, she can go for adoption. But if she is married and she is the one who wants to take the first lead for adoption, then what are the situations that must be there? The marriage must have been dissolved. Why? Because the father is capable, he is the first person who can go for adoption, even though the mother's consent is required in that situation. Then the husband must have renounced the world if a married female wants to take a child in adoption, or the husband has ceased to be a Hindu. So all these conditions are mandatory so that a female can adopt a child after her marriage. Then moving forward, who can give a child in adoption as per the Hindu Adoption Act? Who can give the child in adoption? The father can give the child, the mother, or the guardian. All these three parties can give the child in adoption. Therefore option D is the correct answer. Moving on to the next one. Who can be adopted as per the Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act? So in the previous question we saw who can give the child in adoption. Now here we are looking at that what are the conditions that a child can be adopted. A person who is a Hindu, he can be adopted as per the Hindu Adoption Act. Then the person should not have already been adopted, and also he should not have been married unless there is a custom in place. So none of the above is the condition where a child cannot be adopted, because all these conditions provide that a child, if these conditions are present, the child can be adopted. So none of the above is the correct answer, because the question says who cannot be adopted. Then next is who is a guardian as per the Hindu Minority and Guardianship Act. Now the term guardian includes what all? A person taking care of a minor or his property, or both. This is by common sense meaning of a guardian. Then a natural guardian, and further a person empowered to act as a guardian, as such meaning to act as a guardian by or under the enactment relating to the court of wards. So all these three kinds of people are considered to be as guardian as per the Hindu Minority and Guardianship Act. Therefore option D is the correct answer here. The next question says, which of the following is not an essential condition for valid adoption? This says is not an essential valid condition. Let us see. If an adoption is by a female and the person to be adopted is a male, then the difference must be at least of 21 years. So if a female is adopting a child, and the child and the female should be in the age gap of 21 years, there should be a gap of 21 years between the two for a valid adoption to take place. So this is a condition that is essential for a valid adoption, and the question says not. So this won't fall in the answer. Then the same child cannot be adopted by two or more people. Two or more people cannot adopt the same child, only one family can adopt one child. Then this condition is also essential for a valid adoption. Then in case of a daughter, the mother or the father who makes the adoption must not have a Hindu son, grandson or great grandson living. Now if you will see the adoption act, it says that when a daughter is being adopted, so the parents who are adopting a daughter, they should not have a daughter existing or a granddaughter or a great granddaughter existing to take a daughter in adoption, because they already have one. So this condition is not essential. Had it been Hindu daughter or granddaughter, etc., then the answer would have been none of the above. But here this is the correct answer, because the question says which of the following is not an essential condition. Then moving on to the 27th question, who is the natural guardian of an unmarried girl? Now the natural guardian of a married girl is her husband, but the natural guardian of an unmarried girl is a father, and after him the mother. So Hindu Adoption Act tells you about natural guardianship as well. There's a popular case law also. All these things are covered in our module. If you want to subscribe, or if you're looking for material on family law, you can check our website www.lawdigest.in for the same. Moving on to the next question. Who is the natural guardian of an adoptive son? So a child has been adopted, the son has been adopted. Who will be the natural guardian of that particular person? The father by blood, and after him the adoptive father. The mother by blood, adoptive father, and after him the mother. Either the father by blood or the adoptive father. Now we know a natural guardian of a son, of a child, will be his father, the parents. Father, and after him the mother. But in the case of an adoptive son, the adoptive father will be the natural guardian, and after him the adoptive mother will be the guardian. So option C is the correct answer here. Now the next one says any adoption that is made in contravention of Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act shall. So an adoption that is made in contravention of the act को follow नहीं किया गया है, violate किया गया है, तो वो adoption क्या होगा? It will be void. Obviously we know that as per the law, if certain conditions are not fulfilled, then it will not be considered to be a valid adoption. Then it will not create any rights in the adoptive family. Why? Because the adoption is void. It does not have any effect in law, so it will not in turn create any right in the adoptive family. And also it will not destroy the rights of the person in the family in which he was born. So normally what happens is, when an adoption takes place and a person goes from one family to the other, so his rights in the initial family where his birth took place, they cease. पुरानी फैमिली में जहाँ वो पैदा हुआ था उसके rights खत्म हो जाते हैं और वो rights नई फैमिली में आ जाते हैं. But when the adoption itself is not valid, so these rights won't get over and he won't get new rights in a new family. So D, that is all of the above, is the correct answer to this question. Moving on to the last one. A valid adoption can be cancelled by an adoptive mother, adoptive father or adoptive child. Option, the answer here is none of the above. Why? Because once an adoption takes place and it is valid, it cannot be cancelled as per law. So with this we come to the end of this video. Just in case you have any further doubts or queries, you can mention the same in the comment box below. And if you want to clear your queries with respect to exams, and if you're looking for further guidance, then you can get in touch with me through the social media platforms. The links of the same are available in the description of this video.